Canadian political leaders speak up about the anti-racism protests that have plagued the United States and plunged them further into chaos. Meanwhile, Ottawa opens the wallet up to help offset the pandemic-related damage to cities and to tourism. With more, we're joined by the Globe and Mail's Laura Stone. Good to talk to you. It's been a while, Laura.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
We heard yesterday from various Canadian political leaders about the protests that we're watching in the United States and here in Canada, all sparked by the death of George Floyd. I wanted to let everybody in on what NDP leader Jagmeet Singh had to say.
When you see someone that looks like you being killed like that, it makes you feel like you have no worth and no value. It makes you angry. And I speak as an ally.
Yeah, and so we heard not only from NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, but also from Minister Ahmed Hussen about his experience of racism in Canada. There was a lot of support also from the Prime Minister, but no real hard steps about towards change and what could be changed.
That's right. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau expressed solidarity with the Black community. He acknowledged that there is racism in Canada. There is anti-Black bias, systemic racism, excuse me. And he vowed to stand with Canada's Black community. He said the Liberal government would do more, but he did not specify what that was, whether that was to fund certain programs or, as NDP leader Jagmeet Singh has called for, which is to collect race-based data in Canada. So, kind of a broad strokes approach from the Prime Minister yesterday. But I think when you look south of the border and see how the U.S. president is talking about this issue, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau wanted to contrast that and acknowledge that this is happening in Canada and stand in solidarity with peaceful protests.
Yeah, a real big contrast compared to what we're seeing south of the border and reading on Twitter as well. Ottawa is going to fast track $2.2 billion in infrastructure funding. This is to help out municipalities offset the damage that's being done during the pandemic to their balance sheets. So it's a big number, but is it going to be enough?
Well, we've heard from municipalities and the province of Ontario, who essentially say that this is a drop in the bucket compared to what cities are going to need to rebuild their infrastructure and make up for the billions of dollars lost. I mean, the city of Toronto says it will lose $1.5 billion by the end of this year. That's essentially the money that the federal government is fast tracking to all the provinces. So it's a start, but I think that the provinces and municipalities across Canada are expecting more money from the federal government and new money, not just money that they were going to get at some point this year.
More funding from Ottawa, this time more than $70 million redirected to help promote domestic tourism. This is interesting because a lot of provinces are closed to people from outside the province. There are provinces like New Brunswick and Newfoundland, Labrador that are going to really suffer during the summer season.
That's a really good point, Anne-Marie. This is $70 million for a travel local initiative that the government was going to promote internationally. They now want to promote domestically because, of course, we expect people will not be crossing borders this summer. But can you even travel in Canada? And I think that the federal government has yet to figure that out. And they're hoping that that the kinks are worked out before the summer really gets going. But it's a good point because, this money is used to promote travel in Canada, but also to equip agencies for PPE and other necessary measures to fight COVID-19. But that is the big question. Do Canadians even want to get on a plane? Do they want to go and travel across our country? And will they even be allowed to cross borders as the summer gets going?
Yeah, I don't know if we need any more money to promote domestic tourism, seeing as how it's the only kind of tourism that we can practice right now. But you're right, maybe to redirect towards some funds that for businesses and for companies that are going to suffer during this time. Good to talk to you, Laura. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Anne-Marie.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.